Today we are going to look at 7 Pokemon products that I think are worth investing in. You got to be willing to hold it for the long haul, but I think it's worth a pickup even at today's crazy prices. Let's dive in. No surprise that Prismatic Evolutions would make the list, and we're actually going to start there with the Prismatic Evolutions Super Premium Collection. Now, UPC's Ultra Premium Collections tend to do pretty well with enough time. The Charizard one came out, everybody was hyped and crazy for it, but then it died down very quickly, and then it was on shelves. People found it everywhere. It wasn't hard to find, and we had to get to a point of discount after discount after discount where people like me, who were in the space at the time, were lucky to be picking it up at $80. Ridiculous to think about that now. Now, this is not a UPC, it's an SPC, but the premise is the same. I mean, it's a lot of packs, it's all condensed in here. You have some exclusive items with the Eevee promo and the little deck box, the fuzzy Eevee deck box, the playmat, all of that. There's some good stuff going on in here, but as a sealed product, it presents well. Yeah, it takes up a bit of space, and we know that this set has been on hype since the beginning. And it's really led to a lot of changes in the Pokemon hobby. One, scalping like we've never seen before, but also stores and storefronts and online spaces putting in a lot more parameters and restrictions on how you can go about making your purchases. Biggest of all, the Pokemon Center, making sure that they have a queue system that's a little bit more fair. And I get it. It's not perfect. I've been booted and appeared as a bot because I clicked too quick or whatever. It's happened to me too. I'm not unique to any of these situations. Just like you've dealt with it, and we all have crossed that road when we've come to it here in this Pokemon space. However, it's a huge improvement from what it could have been of just bots on bots, mayhem, and going crazy. And while this one is still over $200, it might be worth thinking about to look for a good deal because it's on the decline and it's starting to level off, but there's going to be some fluctuations. So I'd keep an eye on this one and think about adding it to your collection if you have the opportunity. I'm on the lookout for it because I do not have one of these in my collection just yet. I'd rather be closer to MSRP at that $90 mark. However, it's been nowhere near that for just about everyone. So keep your eyes peeled on that one. Blooming Waters Premium Collection, there's no surprise that 151 would make the list. It's one of the best modern sets. Now, whether you like the Kanto region and you're really into that original OG 151, you know, that's debatable. It depends on when you came into the hobby or just the fact that there's so much more hype around Charizard and Blastoise, and poor Venusaur always gets the boot on these, but still holding true in this set, looking good. And I think, to be honest, the SIR Venusaur does better than the Blastoise, but you have a really good setup here. It's 12 packs, I believe. Yeah, 12 packs coming in here at $120. It's still a little steep considering that's double the MSRP, but these aren't coming back. I don't think there's any plans for any reprints or restocks anywhere. Costco did the best deal if you could get a hold of it when they did that. If you can still pick it up now, I would really be on the lookout for something like this. The fluctuation around it is kind of crazy with the ups and downs, but it has been on this staggering downward trend. So keep an eye out. Maybe we can get to that 113, 110 range in the next few months here if things are cooled off or the attention shifts just enough that it might be worth picking up to hold on. Again, this is ideas to hold on for the long term. And the only reason I think these is because they'll probably have much better payoffs with enough time behind them. Prismatic hitting this top 7 again. I don't even know if I mentioned I'm only pulling out 7 things that I really wanted to focus on. It felt like a good number. 5 felt like too few. 10 was too much. Let's go somewhere in between. And the ETB, the regular ETB, if you can get the Pokemon Center version, all power to you, but I'm trying to keep it a little bit more budget friendly, and as you see, we'll start working the price downward here, moving through this list. And number 3 spot here, the Prismatic Evolutions Elite Trainer Box. Yeah, it's still over $100. We saw a dip down below 100 not too long ago, and then it's kind of leveling off. They should still be printing these. These should still be available. You should still be able to get these within the next year or 2 even. So keep your eye open and see if you get that below MSRP, or sorry, the below $100 mark. That would not be MSRP. The beneath that $100 mark to make a move on it. I think that would be kind of a reasonable pickup price for something like this. Moving on to a single card here, Mewtwo V-Star out of Crown Zenith. Now, Crown Zenith is done. We're not going to have more of that printed. You're rarely going to find it on shelves. I mean, it would be bizarre if you found it at all. However, I think of Crown Zenith, you have the gold cards, which are going to be kind of that top tier level, and then up with them is going to be the Mewtwo V-Star. If you want the counterpart Charizard V-Star from the UPC, which is a promo, a little bit easier to get, still kind of pushing up in price, the Mewtwo I think will do really well long term. It's chaotic, it's colorful, it's energetic, it's Pokemon that you cannot deny is awesome. Mewtwo being that Pokemon, and then balancing the entire frame with Charizard in this reverse perspective from that Charizard V-Star promo. So I think this one, even at $110 or thereabout, is going to be doing well long term. This could go up higher to $200-$300 card. I don't know if and when that'll happen. However, I think it's at least worth a hold if you can get it at a reasonable price. And as you'll see, these have been up before, but now we're kind of in this climbing process. So it'd be something to keep an eye on. Again, this is all just food for thought, things to think about. More modern, more recent Destin Rivals Elite Trainer box. Why? You have Mewtwo on the front. It's a Team Rocket set, even though it doesn't really explicitly say Team Rocket, except on some of the cards, Team Rockets, fill in the blank, whatever. You have that going for it, and we're actually below $100 finally in this list, and the price has been coming down quite a bit from those earlier pre-sales of this one. So keep an eye out. See if there's a good pickup on this. If you get a restock, maybe things will cool off, that we start seeing these hit shelves, or you see new bundles hitting over at Costco, Sam's Club, things like that, that we might have some opportunity, because I just saw an announcement just today, that there's actually going to be new 151 bundles coming to Walmart or something. Like, keep your eyes open, because these things come back, and this is years later. So there's a lot of runway to go here on all of these products, that there's potential that there could be a good buying opportunity. Evolving Skies, I'm surprised I'm even putting this on here, because it's such a hot set. The prices are through the roof. It's insane. However, if you can buy a legit pack with a legit clean seal, not a reglue, and you got to know who you're buying from to feel comfortable about it. You got to be able to see it, have a little bit of sense about it, and watch out for any red flags. If it feels like too good to be true, it probably is. If something looks a little bit off, don't risk it. It's not worth it. But here we are at almost $41 on these for a single booster pack of Evolving Skies. A single booster pack, $41. Now that sounds expensive until you compare it to the booster box. Of course, the booster box sealed is going to be elevated to a new height, because it's a sealed product, a big sealed product, the king of sealed products, really. And coming in at $2,000, you divide it out, it's about $55 a pack. So now a single pack isn't that bad. And will this be a $55 pack, $55 pack on its own someday, soon? Soon, probably. Yeah, I think it will. I think we'll get to a point where this is kind of in the team up range, where you're getting to some kind of ridiculous prices for it. And Evolving Skies will eventually get there, but it has room to go. For a while, things were plateauing. We thought we were there, and we have seen since then that Evolving Skies has kept on climbing, kept on going, even though there's a lot of cooling going on in the market. Still not great. I know, it's still not great, but it has been cooling off, and Evolving Skies has continued to surpass that cooling down feeling, that period, whatever it is, and just shooting past it above and beyond. And just looking at the past year of single packs, it's been on the rise. Even a year ago, when we were at 25 and it came back down to 20, right before the boom happened back in September, October, and then that November, we started getting a lot more traction from Surging Sparks into the new year, coming out with that Prismatic Evolutions, and just now the explosion of the hobby. We're at an all-time high on this for an individual pack, but it's a lower dollar amount to go pick up. The lowest dollar amount I have on this list today, and this might surprise you, it's going to be out of Crown Zenith, also the Pikachu Secret Rare. Not a really impressive price point to card ratio here, but it's the only secret rare in the set. Not super uncommon, because the pull rates were great. I'd love to see that again in another set. I think every year we should have a set like that, just to re-energize everybody, get the excitement back in the hobby of the fun and having the wins in those pack opening experiences. I think Pokemon could really benefit from that long term. We should have a Crown Zenith like set pull rates wise every single year. It's been a long time. Black Bolt's looking okay, White Flare's looking okay, but still not compared to Crown Zenith. That was definitely much better. And the Secret Rare here has so much going on. Great color, great composition, lots of Pokemon, and it's Pikachu, that rock star you're going to know from the franchise. And it's, is it at an all-time high? It may not be. Yeah, it's been higher in the past. $21. Now we're down to $17.36 here. So we could, we were even higher there. We're at $21.66. Now we're down to a $17.36. So you're in a good spot to be picking these up, to have a couple of them saved up. Is this going to be a $1,000 card someday? No. It won't be, but it could easily get to like a $60, $70, $80 card. You know, you have certain Pikachus out of like generations that have gone into the $100, $125 mark. So why shouldn't this Pikachu perform in a similar fashion? Maybe not as high, but if you're picking up at 16 and they're going for 75 consistently 2 years from now, that might be a worthy pickup, and it's a great looking card in the meantime. Crown Zenith, good set. Evolving Skies, good set. What else do we have? Blooming Waters, so the 151, and Prismatic Evolutions, and then just that little touch of Destin Rivals. A lot of modern stuff, but going back to Evolving Skies being the oldest of all of these here, and I think there's still some worthwhile pickups for some long-term holds. I can't emphasize that enough. Long-term holds that'll probably do well in the future as far as this hobby and this space is concerned. I do post 7 days a week, and with that, I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.